you? It is the middle of July, and for a lot of us, this is a pretty busy season. So, how are you doing? Are you surviving? Are you sewing right now, or are you like taking a minute just to breathe? It's kind of hard to remember to do that stuff in the middle of our busy season. So, hope you're doing well. And we had a holiday weekend here in the US last weekend. So, I hope that some of you are able to take some time away, maybe spend some time with the fam, and just kind of regroup. So, taking time off can be really difficult, especially in the thick of busyness. So, later on this episode, I do want to chat about my own balance of taking time off, and I've been wanting to make that a little bit more of a priority this year. So I want to share with you some different things that I've been doing, and I'd love to hear your feedback because we all have different systems and different ways of getting stuff done. So I want to hear back from you. But first, I want to give you a few updates about the podcast, some goodies that are coming your way throughout summer, and some membership updates. And then I'm going to get into our precious time off. How we could maybe get some more of that, okay? So first of all, really pumped to be offering podcast merchandise on the website, secretsofabridalseamstresspodcast.com. I have so many cute things that I'm super excited about. We have some clothing options like water bottles and cute mugs and stickers and all the fun things and notebooks. I'm literally making new stuff almost every night. It's just so fun for me. So I hope you want to check that out. And to celebrate, first of all, to celebrate the new merch, and then also to hopefully add a little bit of like pep in your step this summer when we're like literally trying to survive this crazy year, I'm going to be giving away merchandise every week. So every Tuesday, I'm going to be drawing a winner to receive some of this merchandise. Okay, so here's how you can enter. You can listen to any podcast episode and take a screenshot of the episode, maybe like an old favorite or even this episode or whatever current one you're listening to, and share it on Instagram and tag me so I know that you shared it. So it's really important that you tag me so that I can like see your photo as an entry. And then you'll be drawn out of, the winner will be drawn out of all these entries put together. So every week for the rest of July and August, maybe I'll throw in a couple weeks of September because I know that is also a pretty busy time. So you're just gonna be getting all kinds of goodies, okay? So you can keep entering until you win. Take those screenshots and tag me in your stories. Maybe you can share something you liked about the podcast or the guest that you loved featured or whatever, and that will be your entry. So you can enter, like I said, every week until you win, and I can't wait to see what episodes have spoken to you. So I hope you like the goodies as much as I do. And I'm just so excited. And it's really neat because I'm working through a company that prints on demand. So I'm not having to invest in all this like inventory or wholesale orders or, these products that may not be used. And so there's a lot less waste this way as well. So let me know if you want to know more about that because you could, if you're building your own brand within like your bridal shop, or you want to create that just that noticeable brand within your community, merchandise is a great way to do that. So I personally chose Printful, but there are other options that have drop shipping options. I'm just kind of sharing all the secrets, okay? And it was so easy just to get the logo and get all my designs on the items, and then each order goes through Printful. So I don't have to like make the items or, like I said, make these huge wholesale purchases and just have them sitting around my back room, right? So if you're interested in something like this, check out Printful or other drop shipping options that could work well for you. I will say that like the, what's it called? Like the profit margin is smaller. It's really small, but for me, it's worth it because I'd rather just get my merchandise out there for like a low profit as opposed to just buying things, quote unquote, less expensive or cheaper, and then have like less quality items and have a ton of them. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather take the profit cut. So anyway, if you're looking to expand your brand in your community, then that might be a great option for you. So okay, check it out. Let me know what you think and make sure that you're entering to win all of these goodies, okay? All right, moving on to our membership update for the month of July. Now, like I said, this is a crazy time. It's been like unprecedented. And I feel like we've been warned so much about like 2022 is coming and it's going to be crazy. We kind of saw, like, ooh, the dollar signs. It's going to be so exciting. And some of us are feeling like, oh my goodness, along with the crazy season, we've also inherited some of this additional stress or angst that is coming in with our brides that maybe we haven't experienced before. So this month within the membership, we have two trainings. The first one's going to be led by me, and we're in the middle of the year, right? So it's like, what is it, Christmas in July? Because wait, no, it's not the 6th month. It's the 7th. I always thought that it was Christmas in July because it was like exactly halfway through, but I've been lying to myself this whole time. Okay, well, anyway, disregard the Christmas in July comment, okay? Because I don't want to edit that out. But anyway, so we're in the middle of the year and you're feeling maybe overwhelmed just a little bit, even though we don't want to admit it, right? This is actually the perfect time to take a step back and take inventory of our business. So you want to take financial inventory, physical inventory, emotional inventory of all the things that we're feeling, all of, what we're putting out into our business and what we're getting back from our business. And this is going to be different for each of you, depending on what your personal goals are for your sewing business. So some of you might be like, this is kind of my fun gig and I don't have crazy financial goals. I just really love doing this and I want to make sure that I am enjoying it. Okay, well then your inventory will be really like emotionally and physically based. So you want to make sure that you're not overextending yourself and kind of check in on how your emotions are at the end of the day, like literally today, as opposed to waiting until the end of your season, right? When you're looking back and you're like, oh yeah, I had some great brides and I totally enjoyed myself and I'm going to do the same thing next year. Okay, as opposed to taking a step back and taking inventory in the moment so you can really make assertive decisions, intentional decisions for your business, whatever your goals are, whether you think that they're like huge or not. It's still your life. Hashtag it's still your life. So you just, every small decision really makes a big impact in your business, big or small. So say if you do have these big financial goals, or if they're just different from last year's goals, we have to be honest with ourselves to make sure we're making those goals, or if they're not attainable, right? So it's still important to have those check-ins for each category, and I think it's so effective to do it in the middle of the moment, like or in the middle of your busy season, in the moment, so that you're kind of taking inventory of your real time feelings as opposed to the nostalgic feelings that can come after the fact. Does that make sense? So, if you are not a member, you could still do this on your own and just kind of think about how things are going for you. And like I said, kind of be honest about how much time you're putting into the business. Are you happy with that? Are you happy with like the way that your life is looking outside of the actual sewing work, right? Because we're a whole person outside of our business. So we want to look at this holistically. So you can take inventory on your own, but within our membership, I'll be leading you through a training. And then as always, you'll have a homework guide that goes with every monthly training, and you'll be able to take your notes and print out this little homework guide so you can just take a few days to reflect. And taking that time to step back can be so beneficial for your business. So, or just your life, like I said, wherever you are, whatever like long-term vision you have for your sewing business or your side hustle or whatever it is, you still want to be in control of it, as opposed to letting months or years go by and you're still doing things the same way, even if you're not crazy about the way you're doing them. So that'll be our first training in the month of July. And then to kind of piggyback on that emotional inventory or emotional health, I've invited Stephanie Booth. She is a mindset coach who I'm not exaggerating when I say like she changed my life. Okay, I'm going to get into that in a second, but she's going to be leading us in a cord cutting ceremony, and we'll be talking about it more within the membership training. She's going to tell us kind of the thought process behind that quote unquote ceremony, but it's a great way to release the energy or the stresses that we get from clients, whether or not they're like the scary ones. You know what I'm saying? When we work on this intense level with clients, and there's always an emotional connection, whether we really know it or not. Even if it's a great experience with a client, we still kind of have this attachment to people. And so Stephanie's going to walk us through emotionally detaching ourselves and also protecting ourselves physically and emotionally, stepping back and protecting ourselves and our family and our little personal space and our bubble. And then at the end of that training, she's going to talk through something called a cord cutting ceremony, and it's a Hawaiian tradition. And you can't knock it till you try it, because it really has helped me so much. And it's just kind of a nice way to like debrief at the end of your day or the end of your week or whatever, to let go of it all and head back home. So the work that I've done with Stephanie has been so, oh my gosh, so helpful. So I started working with her several years ago, and I actually knew her husband at college, and that's how I like started following their wedding photography business. So she knows like wedding life, okay? The wedding industry. And then Stephanie started her own coaching business, which led into mindset coaching, which is really just like a completely different animal as opposed to typical business coaching. It's a real holistic approach, and it just takes into consideration your life habits and your life goals, as opposed to just making it all about like the money goals, you know? So I think you're going to love her so much, and she's really down to earth. And if you want to start following her on Instagram, she's the Stephanie Booth, and you can kind of get to know her a little bit. I'm sure she's going to have some offers for our members if you're going to want to delve into more mindset coaching with her. She works with entrepreneurial professionals. I think now she's more focused on working with coaches. But when I worked with her, you know, I was a seamstress and I just wanted to grow my business, but I didn't know how really to do it well. And I was really stuck in my like to-do list, and I was kind of going crazy because I wasn't getting anywhere. So I think she's just going to be such a benefit to our members at the end of the month. So cannot wait to share her with you. And also, she's going to be a guest speaker on this podcast next month. So lots of fun things happening with Stephanie Booth. Okay, now that we've chatted all about the fun giveaways and the membership updates, I want to get into time off. Okay, how do you schedule your time off? And I had a free download at the beginning of the year. It's still available for you. It's my 5 pro tips to update your bridal business. And one of the things that I mentioned was adding block out dates like way in advance. Like I'm talking at the beginning of the year, you want to figure out, yes, your vacation time, and also time when you know you're just going to want some like downtime to reflect or rest. And it's really important to schedule those dates honestly in the middle of your crazy season, so you can just, you know, unplug for a little bit. Well, what I was noticing, especially last year, is I was at max capacity, and you know, in some ways it was really good because I wanted to push myself to see how far I could go. Honestly, how much could I make, you know? And it's kind of fun to have those years where you can just like go gung ho and, you know, see what you can do. And if we don't know like what our limit is, then we don't know how to build around it. You know what I'm saying? But I also learned how much I love to be home. And okay, you got to remember that I was a teacher. Okay, so before I started doing this, I always had summers off, and it was like my precious summertime. And I still love summer. It's the best time of year in the Pacific Northwest because it's our dry season. We don't have humidity. It's like we just have beautiful weather. And I bet that your wedding season, like the height of your season, is probably when you have the best weather as well. So as much as we want to, you know, grow our businesses, it's really important to like take care of ourselves too and enjoy whatever seasons we love. And I love sitting in the sun with a good book. Like that's all really I want time for. And now we recently bought a new home and we have some space that I want to start like planting and getting into gardening and stuff. And I guess that takes time. So who knew? So I knew that I wanted to just have more time to be home, and I readjusted my schedule back in March. So this was just when things were kind of starting to pick up, so that I would just have a 4-day work week. And that was kind of a goal of mine for a long time, but I get into that mindset like, okay, well, I need to meet the brides where they're at. And what if I, you know, before I was offering Monday through Friday fittings, And then just working, my sewing time around that. Or I would have like one sewing day where I wouldn't see brides. And I knew that I still wanted to keep weekends off because that's when my husband's home. So I did want to work around his schedule. Well, moving to a 4-day week just seemed like, I don't know, a little dangerous, which I don't know why. Okay, why do we tell ourselves these weird lies? And then my husband was like, okay, you own your own business, so can't you just pick when you want time off? And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I can. So anyway, I just changed my openings to be only Monday through Thursday within specific hours. And I've had 2 brides that requested evening appointments, but for the most part, I'm done by like 5:30 every night, and that's fine, and then I have separate times during those days where I sew, and I wanted Fridays just to be my entrance into the weekend. So that's like when I go grocery shopping, I get stuff done around the house. My husband still works on Friday, so it's just kind of like my own like decompression day. I started recording podcasts on Fridays. So that was kind of like a nice, like that would be my interview day. So it made such a difference so that when it came to the weekend, I was like present with my husband, and I enjoyed my 2 days off. So I don't know how that feels for you. Like, and I know some of you have, families that you're working around too, their schedule, and how do you honor their time and their schedule with your business? So I'd really be interested to hear how you organize literally your day to day. And I have an interview coming up with a seamstress that I'm pretty sure is familiar to most of you, but I'll keep it a secret. And she'll be talking about one of those things, like how to actually balance your life, or that's a really vague statement. She's going to tell us how to balance our life. Okay, no pressure, but that's a hot topic. No, she's going to talk about how to balance life with the workflow, and then how to get the work done in time, all that stuff. Those questions that continually come up for me. That I get from you guys in my DMs. So thank you. But I went a step bigger. Okay. So this year, also starting in March, not only did I go to 4-day week, but I started blocking off the last week of the month. So that would give me time to, if I needed to catch up on sewing, I would have like the freedom to do that. And also it would just give me time to be home because I was getting kind of homesick. I don't know. I'm really a homebody. So I don't know what the introvert extrovert thing is, but I feel like maybe that's me because I literally could just sit on my couch and read and be fine with that for like days. And I wanted time for that in my schedule. So this is kind of going back to that like holistic, view of our businesses. Like, yes, we love serving brides. We love sewing. We love this industry, but also the other part of our life, or the other part of who we are, we want to honor that too. Like I want time to actually like make a real dinner instead of stopping for Papa Murphy's more often than I'd like to admit it. Okay. So the last week of the month was really working out great for me because I realized how long it actually took me to unplug. And to get to the end of the week where I was really feeling relaxed, I had to start it, the beginning of the week, to have like a full 7 days of just being home. And like I said, having that freedom that if there was like a stressful dress, I still worked on it, but it wasn't like crunch time. You know what I'm saying? I know you know what I'm saying because I know that you've probably been there. Okay, so then for 4th of July, we had family visiting the last week of June all the way through the first week of July. So it was like two full weeks that they were here. I took 2.5 weeks off of seeing brides. And I want to word that carefully because in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, I can take 2.5 weeks off of work. But we all know that's like impossible, right? Like I can't like stay away from sewing for 2.5 weeks in the middle of summer. But having that freedom to work on dresses for like maybe an hour a day, not even every day. A couple days I stayed for a few hours, a couple days I stayed home, but I had that freedom to work at my own pace. And oh my goodness, I got so much done. I had time with my family. I had time to sleep in. I made some good dinners. I like 2. Okay, cooking is not my strong point, so that's another thing. We got to make a seamstress cookbook because I need all the help I can get. But, for me, okay, I made a couple meals, new meals, and that was like a big deal for me, okay? And it was just an awesome 2.5 weeks for me because I didn't feel like, okay, I couldn't work because I do like working. Like I like sewing. I think what is stressful for me is like the stress of the appointments and then getting it all done in time. And so I'm thinking, what if I have, 2 weeks of the month where I have fittings and then 2 weeks of the month where I work and I'm home? Is that crazy? I don't know. So, this is where I'd love your input because that is the beauty of having our own businesses and creating our own schedule as we can create a workflow that works best for our lifestyle and also serves our brides. And I think in my mind, I have to get over that block that's like, I need to be available, 4 weeks out of the month because brides will get stressed if I'm not available. Or I could just offer, that like 2 or 3 week block and have them work around it. I don't know. So, what do you think? You can email me your responses or you can DM me or whatever on Instagram because I'm really interested. There has to be, I know I'm not the only one who thought of like, oh, I'm going to take time off, but I want to know how you do it because I'm just so interested. We have that freedom to take care of ourselves. So I want to take advantage of that. So in addition to just having some time off, I've been able to just reflect on, I guess, um, the like I mentioned earlier on in this episode, we were all really anticipating 2022 as being this like crazy year. It's going to be so busy. Oh my goodness. And my peak months, they are busy. I mean, I feel like in my peak months, I'm always turning people away, so that's not anything new. But what I have noticed is my year has stretched out. So, especially in our area, we have like good weather and bad weather. Like it gets like cold and wet really fast, and then like nobody wants to get married in those months. But I'm still busy, in my fall and winter months. So that's been really interesting to me. Like I have a full book, you know, through the end of the year, which usually it drops off like early October. So that's been interesting. And another thing that I've noticed, and also having a chance to talk with other friends and other, seamstresses and other gals in my area who sew, that this year has just brought on a new genre or like a new brand of angst. I don't know. And we we know how to attract the clients that we want to work with. And if you're still kind of confused on that, I do have an ideal client community training within our membership that covers exactly how to market your business so you attract the brides that you want to work with, as opposed to having, like 50-50 or these unpredictable personalities. It's not a science, but it is pretty close. And I feel like I have some pride in like being able to choose, build the clientele that I like to work with and to cultivate, my work community and whatever. Okay, but this year, there's just been some wild cards thrown in there, and I just blame it, on 2022 because I think brides are coming in. And I bet that you're seeing this too in your own sewing space. Like brides are coming in, all of their vendors are at like max capacity. And so they're coming into our space already stressed out. So it's like before they even put their dress on, they just have this like crazed look in their eyes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And then, by the end of the first fitting, everything's chill. It's great. And then I'll get this like stressed out email, like, I just wanted to double check. Did you really write down my bust kept size correctly? Or, some like random question or whatever. And I've never experienced that before. And they're very kind people, but it's like there's this pent up stress. And I know that it's not me. And I know that you know that it's not you, but it's just so hard to remember that in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And I like literally just this past week, I had a bride who said that her caterer had overbooked and dropped this wedding. Like, and stuff like that is happening. The same thing happened a few weeks ago with the bride and her makeup artist. Like, vendors are so tired, and our couples are feeling the angst of that and the pressure of that. And then they're coming in just with this expectation that we're not going to be able to meet their needs, or we're not going to be able to, finish the work well. So I just want to give you this gentle reminder that it's not you. but also an encouragement to meet these couples or your brides like where they're at in a really, I think, scared place. And also, this isn't the case for all clients, but I think there's also this anticipation of like, okay, I've waited this long. I'm going to get the wedding that I want because I put my wedding on hold because of COVID, you know? So then there's kind of this like sass factor that I'm like, what? So there's also that going in there. So just want to give you this gentle encouragement to like take a deep breath before your bride comes in the door and know that it's not you, and remember just the beautiful thing that you've created with your business, and just remember why you started. I know that's such a common phrase that we hear a lot within the small business community, but if you remember why it is that you started, what do you love about this career? You know, what do you love about who you serve? And take some time at the beginning of your week to lean into that, because I know that I've needed those reminders for myself. So I don't want to project on you if you are like, oh, I don't have any of that. It's all been great. Then just disregard. But that's another reason why I'm really excited about July's membership topic, because sometimes we can only take so much, and especially when we work alone, most of us do, and it can be hard to just shake off these weirdo feelings, you know. So remember why you started, and do you still like it? That's another good question. Like, do I like what I'm doing? Yeah. Okay. If you're interested in joining a membership, here are some details. It's $38 a month. Typically, we have 2 trainings a month, and if we don't have a second training, we'll have what's called a girls' night in. So this membership is created for women, or those who identify as a woman. So I like to just call this our little girls' night in, because we can get in our pajamas or comfy clothes and get something good to drink and just, you know, chat about things going on in our personal sewing studio or with our clients, and we can get some great feedback. And it's more of like a casual chat. It's usually in the evening. So if we don't have a double training in the month, we'll have a girls' night in along with the like formal training. So you can message me if you have more questions about joining. We also have a private Facebook group. So once you join the membership, you're allowed to stay in that group. Even if you're like, oh, I need to take some time off paying for the membership, you're still welcome to be part of that Facebook community. It's just a nice little, it's a smaller group. It's really positive. And the women in there are just so encouraging. And I love when I see somebody posting a question and I don't get to answer it initially, or like, you know, they share like a win in their business, and then I just see all these comments under it like, woohoo, go you, and like all this excitement or this great feedback or advice that the other members are giving each other. So for me too, I love it, and it's been a blessing to me. So let me know if you want in, and yeah, I'd love to get you more information. Okay, I think that's it, right? Okay, so carry on. You're doing great. You're almost there, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe you're like literally just starting. I just found out through some friends that New England's craziest season is October. So I'm really sorry for those of you in New England, because by October, I'm like easing on out. And then that's like your crazy month. So, whew. Anyway, you're doing great. Hang in there. Don't forget to enter the giveaway, get some free goodies, and I hope you have a really great week. You're so good at what you do. So you're blessing your clients probably more than you realize. So just take that badge of honor with you, or no, badge of honor means something else. What's up with me not like being able to get phrases together? I don't know. I'll work on that. Badge of whatever. You're really good at what you do. Okay, bye. Talk to you next week.